The great questions of spirituality, who we are, why we are here, and the nature of the divine, have been debated for millennia, often trapped within the rigid confines of materialist philosophy. We have searched the stars and measured the atoms, yet the ultimate answers regarding God and the origin of existence remain stubbornly elusive to traditional science. This persistent failure stems not from a lack of inquiry, but from the limitations of the very framework we use, the classical Newtonian view of reality that dictates a predictable clockwork and fundamentally separate universe. This ancient reductionist model, which demands that everything must be localized, measurable, and dead matter, simply does not possess the language or the scope to address non-physical realities like consciousness, universal energy, or the infinite source of abundance. This script invites you on a profound intellectual and spiritual journey, leveraging the revolutionary insights of quantum physics, the science of the infinitesimally small, yet cosmically significant. Quantum mechanics tears down the absolute walls we have constructed between observer and observed, subject and object, matter and energy, revealing a tapestry of reality where everything is dynamically interwoven in a unified field of potential. By stepping into this quantum reality, we gain a vocabulary rich enough to finally bridge the chasm between theology and science, allowing us to perceive God not as an external anthropomorphic entity, but as the underlying organizing intelligence, the very process of existence itself. We will systematically deconstruct the materialist dogma, exploring concepts like entanglement, the fundamental nature of consciousness, and the creative power inherent in the observer effect. These quantum insights offer verifiable scientific frameworks that resonate with the deepest mystical truths of every major tradition, presenting a path toward radical transformation. The ultimate goal is to move past belief and into a profound understanding that fundamentally changes your perception of life, purpose, death, and your place within the boundless abundance of the universe. This journey requires your full, focused attention, as we will be challenging deeply ingrained notions of reality. Tell us your city in the comments below, letting us know where you are tuning in from, and settle in, because the understanding we are about to unlock is the key to mastering your own reality and seeing the signs of the divine intelligence all around you. Watch until the very end, as the final section reveals how this quantum shift transforms personal meaning and eliminates the fear of death forever. Classical thinking, rooted in the Enlightenment and perfected by Newtonian mechanics, rests upon the premise of absolute separation, distinct objects acting upon each other in predictable, linear cause and effect sequences across defined time and space. This material-based worldview is designed to measure, categorize, and control the tangible world, but it fundamentally breaks down when faced with phenomena like unconditional love, intuition, the origin of the universe, or the persistence of consciousness, treating them merely as inexplicable byproducts or statistical anomalies. This reductionist approach is a powerful tool for building machines, but a crippling limitation for understanding the transcendent dimensions of existence and spirituality. The classical error is its insistence that reality is composed only of what can be weighed, seen, or touched, a belief system that inherently filters out the non-local, non-physical realities that govern the quantum realm. It demands a mechanical, external deity who must intervene from outside the system, failing to grasp the concept of an immanent intelligence that is woven into the fabric of space-time itself. When God is forced into the box of material parameters, the concept becomes small, inconsistent, and ultimately fails to satisfy the yearning for cosmic unity and profound abundance. This materialistic bias has led to a centuries-long conflict between science and spirituality, rooted in a failure of imagination rather than a lack of evidence for the divine. Linear thinking cannot grasp infinite possibility, material thinking cannot grasp pure energy, and thinking based on absolute boundaries cannot grasp the universal, unified nature of existence. We are looking for the source code of the universe using a basic calculator, incapable of processing the complex, probabilistic equations of quantum reality. To move toward an understanding of the divine, we must willingly abandon the comfort of predictability and embrace the strange, beautiful reality revealed at the core of matter. It requires a shift from believing we are separate players on a fixed stage to recognizing our role as active participants in a fluid, living creation. If you resonate with the idea that our current frameworks are insufficient for grasping ultimate truth, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community dedicated to synthesizing science and spirituality. Classical thinking forces us to treat consciousness as a bizarre accident, a mere biochemical residue of complex neurological function that ceases to exist when the body fails. This explanation is profoundly unsatisfying and runs contrary to thousands of years of human experience, which recognizes consciousness as primary, non-local, and eternal. If consciousness is solely matter-based, there is no foundation for God, free will, or eternal life, leaving us with a deeply nihilistic and fragmented understanding of reality. Furthermore, classical thinking presupposes that time is an absolute, unidirectional river flowing from past to future, locking us into a deterministic chain of events. Quantum mechanics, however, hints at a reality where time might be emergent, subjective, and possibly non-linear, allowing for the simultaneous existence of possibilities and challenging the very notion that creation is a singular event locked far in the past. This non-linear perspective opens the door to understanding an omnipresent divine that is outside of the constraints of temporal flow. The ultimate failure of the classical model is its inability to explain the fundamental, unifying force that holds the universe together and imbues it with persistent organization and information. It defines the world through what is missing, the vast emptiness of space between particles, rather than focusing on the field of potential energy that permeates everything, which is precisely where quantum physics finds its power and where we can locate the omnipresent intelligence we call God. This limitation forces us to seek God only in historical texts or specific localized places, rather than recognizing the divine as the dynamic source of abundance and energy that gives rise to every moment. The quantum view liberates the divine from human dogma and reveals it as the operational reality of the cosmos, the living principle that generates signs and synchronicity, guiding the flow of existence itself. We must accept that for the most profound questions of existence, the map is not the territory. The simple classical model must be superseded by the quantum tapestry, which acknowledges the deep interconnectedness and the energetic foundation of all reality. Quantum physics introduces us to phenomena that shatter the illusion of separation, most famously through entanglement. Entangled particles, once linked, remain instantaneously connected, regardless of the distance separating them, meaning that measuring the state of one instantaneously determines the state of the other, a communication that defies the speed limit of light and the tenets of local reality. This profound non-locality suggests that the fundamental reality of the universe is not fragmentation, but a deep, underlying unity. The apparent distance between objects, even galaxies, is merely a feature of our macroscopic, limited perception. This scientific discovery validates the core tenet of virtually every profound spirituality and mystical tradition throughout history, the concept of oneness. If particles are intrinsically linked across vast distances, then the idea of an isolated self, an individual consciousness cut off from the rest of creation, is scientifically untenable. Quantum mechanics implies that we are not separate islands of matter, but localized, focused expressions of a single, immense, dynamic field of energy, the quantum field. The unified field theory, though still incomplete, seeks to describe this ultimate reality, where all forces and particles arise from the same energetic ocean. This field is the closest scientific analog we have to the concept of God, or Brahman, the source of all potentiality, pure awareness, and infinite abundance. In this unified space, your personal energy and the energy of the most distant star are, at the deepest level, continuous expressions of the same single existence. When separation collapses, so too does the need for an external, intervening God. Instead, the divine is understood to be the very field in which we live and move and have our being. God is not an entity out there, but the holistic, intelligent structure of the universe itself. This unity is the source of synchronicity and divine signs, as seemingly separate events are merely local manifestations of a single, non-local reality interacting with itself. The implications for personal identity are staggering. Our fear of death, our sense of loneliness, and our striving for external validation are all rooted in the illusion of separation. Understanding that you are a non-local, entangled part of the cosmic whole fundamentally rewires your sense of security and belonging. You cannot truly be harmed, lost, or isolated because your essential nature is the universe itself, forever interconnected with all existence. This unity provides a concrete scientific foundation for concepts like universal love and empathy. If your atoms are entangled with the atoms of another human being, then hurting them is, on a fundamental energetic level, a way of hurting yourself, making compassion a cosmic imperative derived from the physics of unity rather than a mere moral suggestion. Abundance then flows naturally from realizing you are connected to the infinite source rather than competing for scarce, separate resources. The quantum view reintroduces the notion of energy exchange, not just as light and heat, but as fundamental information transfer across the unified field. Our thoughts, intentions, and emotional states, which are also forms of energy, are not isolated internal events. They ripple instantaneously through this connective tissue, influencing the field of potentiality around us, often manifesting as powerful, unmistakable signs in the physical world. This holistic reality confirms that the highest state of spirituality, enlightenment, is simply the full realization of this inherent non-separation. It is the conscious acceptance that the self is vast, non-local, and eternal. This knowledge moves beyond mere faith and offers a profound conviction rooted in the laws governing the smallest, most fundamental aspects of existence. Ultimately, quantum physics removes the boundaries of classical isolation, revealing a dynamic, living cosmos where all, matter and consciousness, are waves in the same ocean. This realization of unity transforms the pursuit of God from a historical excavation into an immediate, lived experience of omnipresent, indivisible energy. For too long, the prevailing scientific narrative has relegated consciousness to a mere emergent property, a lucky accident or epiphenomenon generated by the complexity of the human brain, comparing it to the heat generated by a running computer. However, the deepest explorations in quantum physics, particularly involving the measurement problem, suggest that consciousness cannot be so easily dismissed as a passive byproduct. Instead, cutting-edge theories propose that consciousness is not something the brain produces, but something the brain receives or localizes, a foundational element of the universe, co-eternal with space and time. The idea of consciousness as primary resonates deeply with perennial spirituality, which describes God as pure awareness or unconditional intelligence that pervades all things. If matter were truly primary, we would struggle perpetually to explain how dead, inert material generates subjective experience, meaning, and the deep moral compass that guides humanity toward abundance and love. If, however, consciousness is the organizing principle, the very matrix of existence, then the entire cosmos is inherently alive, intelligent, and imbued with energy. The universe then ceases to be a cold, accidental mechanism and becomes a gigantic, infinitely complex mind in which we are localized thoughts or experiences. Quantum theories, from the interpretations of pioneers like Max Planck. I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. To modern ideas like integrated information theory, IIT, are increasingly supporting this theological perspective. The divide between science and God collapses when the very field generating reality is defined by awareness. The true revolutionary step is recognizing that your consciousness is not separate from this universal consciousness. You are not a spectator. You are the localized expression of the divine mind, experiencing itself through a unique physical filter. If the universe is fundamentally conscious, what profound creative possibilities open up when you realize your thoughts and intentions are not just internal chatter, but energetic commands issued within the mind of God. What is the most profound moment of synchronicity or divine guidance, signs you have experienced, that defies classical material explanation? Share your story in the comments below. This reframing grants tremendous power and responsibility to human intention. We are not just complex biological entities, we are essential nodes in the cosmic network of awareness. Our capacity for reflection, love, and creativity is evidence of our direct link to the source of abundance and energy. The universe is designed to respond to conscious input, explaining phenomena ranging from placebo effects to the undeniable power of prayer and meditation to alter physical reality. The nature of this fundamental awareness aligns perfectly with the spiritual concept of God. It is non-local, unlimited by spatial boundaries. It is eternal, unlimited by time, and it is pure potentiality, the source from which all forms arise and to which they return. This definition removes the anthropomorphic limitations often imposed on the divine, replacing them with a vast, dynamic intelligence that is the very ground of being, the source code of existence. When we shift our focus from matter to consciousness, we stop searching for signs outside of ourselves and recognize that the greatest sign of divine presence is the very energy of awareness animating our subjective reality. This internal shift unlocks the flow of abundance as we align our localized intent with the infinite creative capacity of the universal mind. Understanding consciousness as fundamental radically alters our understanding of human purpose. We are here not merely to survive, but to explore, refine, and experience the infinite potential of this foundational awareness. Our individual spirituality becomes the focused practice of aligning our local awareness with the cosmic energy flow. Ultimately, the quantum mechanical insights regarding observation and measurement demonstrate that existence is inherently participatory, a dance between potential and actualization that requires the presence of a conscious observer. Thus, the intelligence we call God is not a separate creator, but the omnipresent consciousness in which all creation unfolds. The observer effect is arguably the most staggering finding of quantum physics. At the subatomic level, particles exist in a state of pure potentiality, a wave of possibilities, until they are measured or observed. It is the act of conscious observation that forces the wave function to collapse, solidifying potentiality into concrete, localized reality, a particle. This is the scientific realization that reality is fundamentally participatory, not objective and independent. This quantum principle radically reframes ancient wisdom regarding creation, intention, and divine presence. If observation is necessary to bring reality into material form, then intention is not merely wishful thinking, it is the directive energy that organizes the raw material of the quantum field. This elevates the human mind and its focused awareness into a co-creative partner with the universe, lending scientific weight to the mystical assertion that, as you think, so shall it be. The ancient notion of God speaking creation into existence, let there be light, finds a powerful analog here. The universal consciousness, or God, can be understood as the ultimate observer, the infinite awareness that is holding the entire quantum field in a state of manifest reality. Every moment of our shared reality is sustained by this omnipresent organizing awareness, continuously collapsing the infinite potential into the structured, perceived world we inhabit. This participatory creation process explains the power of focused attention in attracting abundance and manifesting desired outcomes. When you focus your intent with deep energy and conviction, you are directing your localized expression of universal consciousness to collapse the desired probability out of the quantum field and into your observable reality. Your focused thought becomes the necessary observation that stabilizes the wave of potential. The immediate implications for spirituality are clear. We are continuously interacting with the divine field, and our inner state dictates the nature of the reality we experience. If we operate from a place of fear, scarcity, and separation, we continuously observe and collapse realities that confirm that fear. If we cultivate a state of unconditional love, interconnectedness, and abundance, we observe and manifest the signs and realities that align with that elevated frequency. The dual nature of quantum reality, existing simultaneously as wave and particle, perfectly mirrors the mystical duality of existence: the unmanifest, pure potentiality, the wave, and the manifest, physical form, the particle. God, as the universal observer, is simultaneously the field of infinite potential, the wave, and the entirety of structured manifest reality, the collapsed particles. This scientific understanding eliminates the need for miracles to be seen as arbitrary interventions. Instead, miracles are understood as moments when localized consciousness, aligned with the creative power of the universal observer, successfully collapses a highly improbable yet desired outcome into form. It is the powerful application of a cosmic law, not the breaking of one. Our awareness, therefore, is not passively receiving external information. It is actively filtering, structuring, and generating the specific reality we experience. Recognizing this profound responsibility elevates human life from a predetermined fate to a dynamic, moment-to-moment co-creation with the divine intelligence that saturates every point in the universe. The quantum observer effect assures us that we are not living in a dead, unresponsive cosmos, but in a responsive, intelligent field of energy that is waiting for us to issue the next creative command. One of the most profound spiritual roadblocks is the insistence upon conceptualizing God in human form, an old man, a judge, or an external king presiding over creation. This anthropomorphic limitation instantly restricts the infinite nature of the divine, reducing God to a finite entity separated from existence. Quantum physics offers a liberating alternative. God is not a specific entity or form, but the underlying dynamic organizing process expressed through existence itself. This perspective views God as pure dynamic energy, the intelligence, the flow, the universal drive towards self-organization, complexity, and coherence. It is the inherent principle within the quantum field that dictates how potentiality collapses into reality. It is the force that generates order from chaos, guides evolution, and sustains the continuous instantaneous interaction of all subatomic particles. God is the verb of reality, not the noun. If God is process, then the divine is everywhere, manifesting in the laws of physics, the beauty of the Fibonacci sequence, the regenerative power of nature, and the continuous unfolding of the universe. This is the meaning of immanence. God is not absent, waiting in some celestial palace, but is fully present as the foundational spirituality and energy inherent in every electron, every thought, and every breath of life. This realization transforms our relationship with the divine from one of pleading and worship to one of deep participation and alignment. To seek God is not to look up, but to look deeply into the patterns and relationships of existence. If you want to engage with the power of this concept, that God is the process, type the word process in the comments below right now and share this profound revelation. The concept of God as dynamic energy resonates with the field-based nature of quantum reality. The quantum field is pure vibrating potential. It is ceaseless motion, information, and flow. The divine is that ceaseless flow, the eternal becoming, the source of infinite abundance that never runs dry because it is defined by its constant dynamic expression. We are all individuated moments of this eternal flow, temporarily localized expressions of this divine process. This perspective helps resolve the problem of evil and suffering that plagues classical theology. If God were an external form with human-like will, suffering would appear arbitrary and cruel. But if God is the universal process that requires dynamic tension, evolution, and feedback for growth and greater complexity, then perceived suffering can be reframed as necessary energy exchange or the inevitable friction of creative unfolding within an infinitely complex system. When we understand God as the intelligence embedded within the universe, the search for signs becomes the practice of recognizing patterns of energy and information flow. A profound synchronicity is not a gift dropped from above, but a moment when your personal flow of energy aligns perfectly with the overarching universal process, leading to the manifestation of abundance and purposeful direction. Living in alignment with this divine process means operating from a state of trust, allowing the universal intelligence to guide your localized actions. It is the realization that resisting the flow creates friction, suffering, while yielding to the flow unlocks infinite abundance and the effortless progression of existence. Quantum physics provides the empirical vocabulary for this mystical truth. The universe is a self-organizing, intelligent system defined by continuous transformation, and that continuous transformation, that sacred, ceaseless, dynamic energy, is what we call God. Embracing the quantum understanding of existence is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a catalyst for radical personal transformation that fundamentally alters your experience of life, death, and purpose. The most immediate change is the profound dissolution of the fear of death. If consciousness is fundamental, non-local, and eternal, not merely a byproduct of the brain, then the physical body's demise is simply the collapse of the localized filter, allowing your awareness to return to its boundless, unified state within the universal consciousness, the source of all energy. This understanding of eternal spirituality eliminates the urgency and anxiety tied to a single fleeting material life. Your purpose shifts from acquiring material goods within a finite lifespan to aligning your localized energy and intention with the infinite creative process of the universe. Purpose becomes participation, creativity becomes prayer, and every intentional action is a co-creative act with the divine intelligence. When you recognize yourself as fundamentally non-separate from the source, a localized wave in the infinite ocean of abundance, the scarcity mindset instantly dissolves. Scarcity is a core feature of the classical material world where resources are finite and competition is necessary. The quantum world, however, is a field of infinite potentiality. Therefore, genuine abundance is your birthright because you are connected to the source of all potential energy. Manifesting abundance becomes a matter of clearing internal resistance and aligning with the universal flow. This knowledge demands a profound shift in ethical behavior and relationship building. Recognizing that we are all entangled expressions of the same unified field makes compassion a necessity rather than an option. Hurting others is mathematically incoherent, as it is self-inflicted damage to the extended, non-local self. This quantum ethic fosters authentic connection, moving relationships beyond transactional interactions into shared unified existence. This is powerful knowledge that can transform lives and elevate collective consciousness. If you believe this understanding should be shared widely, please hit the like button now and help us spread this message of quantum unity and abundance. Understanding the observer effect transforms personal agency. We become acutely aware that we are continuously participating in the creation of our reality through our focused attention. The reality we experience is not fixed, but fluid, constantly subject to the energetic and informational input of our consciousness. This encourages radical self-awareness and mindful living, prompting us to choose our thoughts and emotions carefully, knowing they are the energy commands directing the flow of the quantum field. Furthermore, life ceases to be a random series of accidents and is instead perceived as a continuous stream of meaningful signs and feedback loops from the universal process. Synchronicity, the occurrence of meaningful coincidences, is simply the unified field demonstrating its interconnectedness, showing you that your internal state and external reality are perfectly aligned, offering guidance and reassurance in your pursuit of spirituality and purpose. The quantum lens confirms the immense power of collective energy and intention. Just as one observer collapses a wave function, millions focusing their awareness and intention on peace, healing, or abundance can profoundly influence the global field of potentiality. This validation of collective consciousness is perhaps the most urgent implication for the future of humanity. Ultimately, the quantum mechanical synthesis liberates the concept of God from restrictive dogma and historical limitation, establishing the divine not as a distant ruler, but as the living, dynamic, intelligent energy of existence itself. We transition from fearful supplicants to powerful co-creative participants in the ceaseless, infinitely abundant unfolding of the cosmos. We have traveled from the limitations of rigid, classical thought to the boundless unity revealed by the quantum field, finding scientific grounding for humanity's deepest spiritual truths. By understanding that separation is an illusion, consciousness is fundamental, and reality is participatory, we unlock a profound new paradigm. God is revealed not as an external sovereign, but as the underlying intelligent process, the pure dynamic energy that sustains and organizes the entire universe. This quantum spirituality offers more than abstract philosophy. It offers radical freedom. It eliminates the fear of death by affirming the non-local, eternal nature of awareness. It eradicates the illusion of scarcity by confirming our intrinsic, entangled connection to infinite abundance. And it reframes our life's purpose as the joyful co-creation, aligning our localized intention with the ceaseless, intelligent flow of existence. The synthesis of quantum physics and spirituality requires us to step fully into our power as active observers and creators. The signs of this divine process are everywhere, waiting for your recognizing gaze. This is the final key. The truth of the universe is not hidden. It is the very structure of reality itself, accessible through deep observation and conscious alignment. Now consider these profound questions. If your thoughts instantaneously influence the quantum field, what will you focus on today? How does the knowledge of your eternal, non-local nature change your fear of failure? And how will you align your unique energy with the universal process to manifest true abundance? Ponder these truths, internalize them, and begin living as the powerful, connected being you truly are. If you want to continue exploring the deep synthesis between science and spirituality, be sure to subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next transmission on mastering the flow of cosmic energy.